Welcome to the 62 Steps video series on how to make a customized, creative, unique pen. In this 12th of the 19th video, we're going to be talking about how to personalize and the various decisions that go into personalization of selecting the inscription, the font, the type of font, and so on. And so here's some of the considerations. First of all, the font style, I think needs to be artistically pleasing to the pen style and also to the end user. Is it a male user? Is it a female user? Is it a highly scripted and artistic font that you want to pick, or one that's a little bit more bold, maybe more masculine? So that's one major consideration. There's also the kerning. Kerning is actually the space between the letters. And so in the space between the letters, you have the opportunity to have it be the normal width. You can extend it a half point or a full point or even more, so that they actually are more distinct, because you're shrinking it down into a very small space, so maybe an inch to an inch and a half long and maybe a quarter of an inch wide, just by the nature of the size of the pen that you're going to be placing it on. So those are some of the considerations specifically for selecting the font size, the font style, and so on. Now, some of the fonts that I personally like and I've used quite extensively is the first one you'll see here is the A.R. Berkeley. I like this, but the reason I have a number of them up here, and the reason I use a number of them to test out for a particular inscription, is because some of the letters are more difficult to read. Like, for example, if you look at the A.R. Berkeley, that's the first one on the slide, if you look at the I, so you go G-H-I-J, right, then the I looks almost like a D. And so if that's a capital letter of a name, first name or last name, it can be easily thought of as a D and very confusing. If you look at the end of the alphabet there, the Z, it looks like a 2, the number 2. So one of the things that you want to look at is, again, what does it look like aesthetically? And is it appropriate to the style of the pen and the user? Okay. The A.R. Blanca, the A.R. Julian, the brushed script MT, the Lucida calligraphy, script MT bold, the Vladimir script, again, all beautiful. They work well with the decal, and so try several out. This slide is actually a working slide that I used for once the inscription was determined. You know, it's Coach Hazel and Coach Patty and Coach Susie and so on, is to actually put it into the different fonts. And so this is the layout that I actually used. The box around it supports the decal making process. It was printed out on a laser because you need a toner to make it work on the system that I was using, which is later talked about in one of the other videos that I have in this series. But by laying it out this way, some are bold, some are not bold. Some are extended, so I just make notes on the side in terms of what it is. And I also take a look at the length of the inscription. Is it still within the parameters of the kind of pen that is going to be going on? So the A.R. Berkeley, you'll see up on top, you'll see the brush script MT in a 14 font, because each one of the fonts, if it's a 14 font in one style and 14 font in another style, they can come out very different and dramatically different, actually. So it's also an important consideration of trying it at different font sizes, bold, not bold, italics, not italics, and once that is done, I may make a decal of the same person's inscription on 5 different ways, and then when I ultimately put it on the pen, for example, what you're seeing now on the screen, is I'll take a look at those 4 or 5 different versions and see which one works best before I actually apply it. Hope this has been helpful. I hope you're enjoying the series of the 62 steps in creating and crafting the Signature Series pen. Come back and watch the rest of the series.